broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, yeah, ladies.
Hey.
I ran out of moves, but y'all were like breaking it down over there. I saw some hair going. I was like, dang, I forgot what I was doing. This little move isn't going to work too much longer.
Our world is with our AFTERBUZZ panel.
Yeah, and the fans.
And you guys.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to another reclap of America's... not bad. Of America's craziest and most filled dance show, Dance Moms After Show. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't already done so, please head on over to youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV and hit that red subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Keep checking us out on SoundCloud. Check us out on iTunes. Keep leaving those comments. You can always tweet us at #ABTV Dance Moms. You could tweet me any questions that you have. I will answer at Candice _Camacho, Camacho, and hopefully we already know each other out there. We're at least friendly, but I'm your host this evening. I'm Candice, followed by my co-hosts.
Well, I'm a new co-host.
Yes!
Hey, everybody. I'm JJ Snyder. I am so glad to be joining you tonight. I'm a big fan of the show, and especially the dancers on the show. I'm here to stick up for these girls who have so much talent, and we'd love to hear from you tonight. And please talk to me on Twitter at J2Snyder.
I like it. We're going to clash a little bit on that, I feel, though.
Okay.
It's coming. And you guys can tweet me at Christy Reports. I love to hear your thoughts, and I have been getting some great, juicy Dance Moms deets that I didn't even know from some of you. So you guys rock. Oh, thank you for that.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah, and welcome. We're very happy to have you. We've got full panel so far. We've been trying to hold it down and making it happen there, Christy. So we're happy to have you, full panel.
Yeah. And you're rocking this gorgeous color. We're so ready to go tonight. Let's do this.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for this episode, the dancers are back in Pittsburgh, which they all seem to be happy about.
Where they belong.
Back in the studio.
Right. Season 5, episode 9. So
already, man.
Yeah, lots of history.
The Great Divide.
When I saw that title, before I even pushed play on my DVR, I was like, The Great Divide, and then about the moms, I was like, seriously? That's so dramatic, you know? I was surprised at that. I was like, oh God, they're dividing again. Is that really necessary? They should probably all stick together, I would think.
Oh, the drama goes on.
It goes on. So it opens up with Miss Holly, and I was happy to hear that she thought LA was a success for Nia. So and it was a success. She had some great opportunities with Aubrey O'Day and the music video. So I was glad that for Nia that she said it was a success. However, she does bring up how Abby sabotages her daughter, and she brings up those two circumstances.
Again.
Yeah. I don't know, this episode is so focused on Nia and Holly.
Yeah.
Holly mostly, actually.
Yeah, it really was. It was very Holly-centric.
Yeah, very Holly-centric. So.
Although I'm glad, again, to see her being back to the old Holly that we know and love, who's very reasonable and can speak her mind in a productive way. You know, she got all kinds of crazy out here on the West Coast. So I prefer East Coast Holly.
I feel like she got...
She's just a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, I feel like she got a little crazier at the end of the episode too, which we'll get on that.
That is true.
Yeah, she did get a little bit cuckoo. So
and she did not not care for Melissa bragging that Maddie had tons of very positive feedback from her meetings, and Melissa really made it sound we didn't get to see Maddie doing all those things on the show. So it was great to hear that she was taking meetings and making an impression on people. That's what you got to do.
Right. Well, later on in the episode, Melissa pipes up and is like, oh, well, I thought LA was great because, we had all these appointments for Maddie, and then Mackenzie gets to sing live somewhere in New York City.
Yeah.
And, so that was a surprise, too. But
I think a lot of people understand that situation when you're in a group atmosphere and one person is really excelling or having all these opportunities. It's almost like impossible not to be jealous, So I kind of feel for the other moms.
Yeah.
In a way, at times.
I do, too.
Yeah.
So a big topic of this episode is the Great Divide. And I just feel like it's just different strokes for different folks, because I put myself in each of these moms' shoes, and if I was Jill, I think I would have done what she did and sided with Abby, because it's not like Kendall had a big part in the music video, and Jill's always like solo for Kendall. So I understand that. I understand Holly's position on staying, because Nia did have a great part in that music video. And so Jill pipes on, we're divided again, and who's going to be Team Abby?
I kind of agree that Jill did a smart thing. I mean, if this whole thing is like a chess game, then Jill was just playing the right hand. She was like, hey, this is my time to be quiet, and maybe it'll benefit me later, and it does.
She's finally figured it out after 5 seasons.
Right.
Although she does get very hypocritical to me at the end of the episode.
She does.
I know you said we'll get there. But in this first scene, I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And that is, I think, what I would have done, too. Just don't rock the boat. There's no need, especially not with Abby Lee Miller.
Right, but they're rocking it right from the beginning, I feel like, because, Melissa, she's happy with LA, Jill is not, so, like I said, I just feel like it's just, this topic is just got so much airtime, but really, like, you have to do what's best for you, and all circumstances are totally different. I would have done what Melissa and Jill did, and if I was Jeslyn, I'm not sure if I would have stayed.
Who knows what the hell she's thinking.
Yeah, who knows what she's thinking. So they're back in the studio, and we're going to get to the pyramid. Abby talks about that. She doesn't think that they're ready for LA. So I honestly feel like they would have been ready for LA, but I felt like for the girls it was too chaotic, too much mama drama, and they needed different choreography, which I feel like they could do, but they just didn't get.
Yeah, think of what an absolutely different experience it would have been for the girls if the moms hadn't been along at all. That's not really uncommon when you're a Hollywood kid to have your handlers there, or the managers or whoever are looking after you. I mean, that would not be unheard of at all, and it would be a completely different situation.
Yeah. So I just...
Also, I have to wonder, because all three of us at this panel are from smaller towns, and we've all come to LA to pursue what we're doing, and I just got to think that it was such a bigger competition pool for them when they got here.
Overwhelming?
Well, I bet they just had so much competition at that dance event. I mean, we don't get to see the other talent dance, so we don't know.
Yeah, that is true, because I've worked in other cities and there was competition, but out here it's just like needle in a haystack, to book something.
You're one of like 1,000 versus,
Yeah. So
and they're not really used to that either. So just that in general, kind of having to deal with like, oh my gosh, there are a million other girls that want to do what I do and that have my experience and that are as good as me. I mean, that's not easy to deal with, people.
No.
But enough about us.
Yeah, right.
No,
so Abby talks about they had a duet that placed, one that didn't, and a group number that placed and one didn't. So she's just, of course, coming down on the girls to step it up a little bit. But well, I just feel like if they would have had a little bit different choreography, they could have pushed it a little bit, which we just discussed. And Maddie wasn't there, so she gets a little bit praise for that, for being on her Disney show. Woohoo!
Yes.
And Jill pipes in and says, well, it's time for my little girl to be in the limelight. Which Which I do agree, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. She wants her child to be, have those opportunities just like the other moms, and I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
We see Jill piping in quite a bit, too.
Yeah, she did pipe in a lot this episode, didn't she?
Yeah, and then they're talking about swings. Bryn isn't in this episode.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So apparently the situation is that Bryn's mother, Ashley, is off dealing with her son who has very serious diabetes.
You're right.
And so that's why they couldn't be there. And I thought that was just so interesting because Ashley was the one who was saying last week, Kira has chosen Kalani and she's not there for her son. She doesn't even have custody of her son, and kind of throwing all this shade on that. And then when Ashley needs to be there for both of her kids, Kira was explaining that the father of Ashley's son does not live in the same place as them. And I just thought it was just so interesting how that sort of materialized after the conversation last week.
It does, and I think it goes back to not that it goes back, but I guess my opinion is the more stones that you throw, it doesn't get you anywhere in life, and it always kind of, karma, what you get back, what is what you throw out. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I was disappointed because I need to see more from Bryn. I don't feel like we saw her enough last week. I don't quite get what her place is going to be yet. I'm curious to see Abby's thoughts on her and her progress.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm just wondering if she's really going to end up working out on this team. And I want to get to it.
I know.
I want to see what she's got to bring.
Yeah, well, we see that next week she does pop back in.
She's giving Maddie a run for her money next week.
Maybe Abby's breaking her in slow or something.
Yeah, that could be. Abby did seem quite disappointed that she wasn't there.
Yeah, she did.
And this whole sort of scene with me for Abby, she was not quite as intense as she usually is at a pyramid viewing.
Right.
At that first day back in the studio after a competition, she seemed like she was just kind of going through the motions for me a little bit.
Yeah, she wasn't as vicious as we've seen her in the past, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, and it brought me back to, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, when she really freaked out during Pyramid and said, I don't want to do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. And I almost read this week's as sort of she's just trying to be nice, she's just trying to get through it, she's not going to say anything too crazy, she doesn't want to yell and scream, she doesn't want the mothers to be yelling and screaming back at her. And I just wondered if it sort of came off as a lack of passion to me, but I wonder if she's just straight up tired of it all.
I just find the whole pyramid thing so kind of horrible for the girls. I just think it must be
stressful.
So nerve-wracking and stressful just to see. What if they did that in a school classroom? We're going to rank you all now from
They're
the
always
bottom
getting
I bet she would make some American kids step it up a little bit. Just saying.
What?
See, this is where we're going to clash.
Oh my gosh. Yes. No. We are. Because how can those girls, and it's amazing to me how the girls handle it, They
do handle it
little
well.
soldiers, and they just have really neutral faces, and
yeah, they don't say much.
But the moms react a lot more than they do. Yeah,
The girls have to be used to walking up to, after an audition, walking up and looking at a list and seeing your name on it or not on it, or at the bottom in a swing role either you didn't want to be in instead of the starring role at the top. I mean, everything Abby does is preparing these girls to be huge stars. And I think that kind of starts with the pyramid.
Yeah.
Although the pyramid did get a little ridiculous for me, so maybe we should get there.
With the photo at the top that was covered up and we didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Well, on the pyramid, Miss Maddie is at the bottom because she's not in the group,
Which was a shock.
Yeah.
But got unshocking.
It was a Band-Aid, but then it got ripped off.
We should have known that there's no Maddie at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
When that happened and she unveiled that, I was sort of like, oh my gosh, she finally did it. And I was like, wait a minute, we should know this is not realistic.
She's not going to be in the last spot.
Right.
Followed by Jojo and Nia on the bottom for poor technique, apparently.
I think she needs to give Jojo a little bit of a break.
Really?
I really do. But
yeah,
I really do. But I love how she sells everything, So.
Yeah, she does.
And Jojo can handle it. Jojo can take this.
Jojo
can take Abby Miller better than any of the other girls. I think.
She can. She does need to work on her technique, and she does need to keep up more with the other girls. But she does have that star quality, which we've talked about, and what she does bring to the table.
Don't you watch her though?
I sure do.
Last week in the Moulin Rouge, for sure.
Oh, yeah. But I did notice a couple times where she was facing the wrong way and a couple things like that. Major things. Nia on her technique.
Like this?
Yeah.
Over here, JJ. And we get 4th place in the competition.
And you're on the bottom of the pyramid.
JJ 4th place. You were facing the wrong way. Lastly, Kalani on the bottom of the pyramid because her duet wasn't mentioned.
Part of shame.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
It was. Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it didn't place, but whatever. And then the next row we've got Kendall and Mackenzie.
Again, sort of a lack of passion from Abby. She just said it should have been perfect, but it wasn't. I'm like, that doesn't really rate up there in the Abby Lee criticisms in my book.
Well,
she usually comes up with something a little more creative than that.
I think she's got to mix it up a little. She can't be like extremely mean all the time. So she's just kind of like making you wait for it.
Well, she was, she was disappointed in Kendall because Kendall only had one number, and she felt like Kendall should have pushed it. But on the close-ups, I thought Kendall was really working it and doing a great job. But that whole routine, we weren't like super impressed with, as far as like the choreo. Mackenzie, of course, did a great job, and then all the names have been uncovered, and then what do we have? Our Miss Maddie at the top, because she represents ALDC amazingly. So what are your thoughts on that?
It made sense to me after the initial shock of she's on the bottom and kind of wondering what the heck. She should be at the top of the pyramid because representing the Abby Lee Dance Company and opening the doors for TV shows and live performances and all this crazy stuff that she's getting to do is absolutely more important and more beneficial to the entire team than just getting first place at another competition.
Or if not more important, then she was expanding, the whole opportunities that these girls have on the Disney Channel. It's like very cool.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to celebrate her.
Yeah, she's expanding the brand, expanding ALDC, and leading these girls at this point, because of course all the other girls, hopefully they'll work that much harder, although some of them are at disadvantages.
Do you guys think Abby put her on the bottom and the top to be fair, to shut the moms up? I just couldn't quite figure out why she would do that. I thought, it doesn't quite seem like Abby to me to worry about, well, it's going to make the other girls feel bad if she's at the top again, and the moms are always telling me she needs to not be at the top all the time.
She doesn't
seem to care too much about that.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't quite fathom where that came from, why that was necessary.
To me, it was like a trick for us, the audience, because in my mind, I was like, there's someone at the top. Is it a new dancer they're bringing in? That's all that I thought in my mind. Did anyone else think TV that drama out there? Let us know what you guys thought about who was going to be behind that top person. What did you think?
I figured that it wasn't going to be someone new. I didn't know what she was going to do, but I mean, Maddie being up at the top is rightfully earned, but I feel like Abby did it to kind of throw a little wrench into the moms and, factor of surprise. So, that card hasn't been shown to us before. I don't believe, having her on top and the bottom. So I mean, it was kind of a surprise factor. It surprised me, but I mean, it was, give credit where credit's due. She was on a Disney show, so work it out.
Abby is just messing with us just a little bit, stirring the pot.
So the girls are going to Monica, New Jersey, to do their competition. I figured Manahawkin. I figured if I just say it really quick, man, I'll just get through that name. Manahawkin.
Do you want to say it? Why don't you give it a try?
Manahawkin.
No. I voted that we should just say Jersey.
Yeah.
in the pre-show conversation,
right,
everybody.
Jersey.
I think you got it, Manahawkin.
Okay. But there's a big problem with the age division here because 12-year-olds at this competition are competing in the teen division, and there's 2 older girls on the ALDC Elite competition. So, and one thing that they have to schedule these competitions like 30 days in advance.
Probably at least.
At least. So I'm like, well, why doesn't she just find one somewhere else in the country that 12-year-olds who are, juniors can compete in their own category with juniors?
And to get the permission to film. I mean, there's a lot involved when you're going to try to film the competition.
Yeah.
And I'm sure not just any old competition will let them come and do that.
Exactly.
And they want to go to some, especially after being in LA, they wanted to go to one where they knew they were going to win. I think that's part of the storyline.
Right.
Can we talk about that? I wonder if there's anyone watching who has been to one of these competitions when they showed up, because don't you wonder, how distracting is it when the Abby Lee Dance Company walks into your competition, are you kind of like, oh no?
It changes the order of the dances. I've noticed a lot. Like they'll have them dancing one after the other, or not have them spaced out more. I can only think that the other people at the competition are somehow thinking that it's not fair, or it's weird, or why are we doing this for these girls? I mean, I bet there are a lot of special allowances going on.
And I feel like the girl, like where the moms get to sit and where the girls get to sit is kind of like the best seating.
Yeah.
For the cameras.
That's been blocked off all day.
Of course they get, provisions for them. They're bringing a lot of publicity to that competition.
True.
So that's probably why.
Aha.
And we've got Mama Jill pipes up and says, well, we have 2 teens on the team. We've got Nia and we've got Kalani. So just take one of the older girls out and, it'll put us back in our junior division. So, I mean, you really gotta hand it to her to just keep piping up like that, or else it's gonna run over you. But then at the same time, we've just seen her say, well, just follow the rules, follow the directions. And so here we see her kind of being a hypocrite, I feel like, for the first time in the episode. I don't know what you girls think of that.
Are you talking about Abby or Jill? Sorry.
Jill.
Who's being a hypocrite?
I feel like
okay.
Jill. Yeah. Okay. I feel like Jill is being a hypocrite because she's just saying, follow Abby, and now she's trying to tell Abby what to do. And she's not even talking about her kid. She's talking about 2 other, kids who aren't hers. But at the same time, I'm like, you got to give her props for putting her foot up there.
I hate hypocrisy. Annoys me more than absolutely anything else in the entire world. But I love Jill, and I loved what she was saying when she was taking her stand at the beginning of the episode. That it was just her like, oh no, Jill, don't do that, don't say it. I know. You were dancing around. Stick to it, yeah.
And she said it so prima donna. Well, Abby, we have 2 teens. We have Nia and Kalani. So just take one of those girls out and just put my baby up at the front.
Oh,
simple as that.
Oh my God.
I mean, am I going to be saying that in a couple of years with Athena? Just put my baby in the front. I will be, I know. So
it's part of being a mom. I thought it made me think of how interesting, how much strategy there is for Abby. I mean, to give Abby some credit, going to these competitions, okay, what category are we going to be in? How can we do the best that we can in the category we're going to be in? So that's where I think her skills as a manager really come in.
They do.
To play.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. True. And we always kind of like to play devil's advocate with Abby and show the business side and her reasoning. And we've mentioned a lot that she's got the producers in her ears saying this and doing that.
Yeah. I watched your episode when you had her on the show here, and I thought that really showed me there's a lot more going on than what we see on the show.
Yeah. Lots more. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she's talking about driving to Lifetime Studios and walking through the cubicles and going to the executive's office and giving him what for, that's the good juicy stuff. Ooh. If you haven't seen that, people, go back and watch it.
Wow.
So we've got 3 solos. We've got Kalani with her Pretty Little Liar, and Abby says, don't be following in your mother's footsteps. So
all so dramatic. This thematic thing that she's got going on this week was almost too much. I was like, dang.
Yes.
And making it all about the moms.
It's all about the liars. Pretty Little Liars. Don't follow in your mom's footsteps. Oof. So she's using Kalani to make fun of Kira. It's fine. She's got a solo, so whatever.
Right.
Whatever it takes to get your kid a solo is what we do, I guess.
Yeah. Arrest record and all.
Right.
Oh, man.
Allegedly.
That's right.
We don't know. Kendall, she's got a blues number.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Jill's very happy. And we've got Nia, and she's got the golden rule. And Abby talks about, Nia, there's rules in Hollywood. There's hierarchy. There's loyalty. Don't step on everyone working your way to the top, because on your way back down, you might step on them too, or something like that.
Now, I had a feeling when this solo was given out, I just knew it wasn't going to go
very well. I cringed. When Nia got the solo, did you cringe? I was like, she's giving Nia a solo to get back at Holly. I knew it.
And I'm surprised that Holly doesn't go there with it, that she doesn't see that or doesn't say
I think she did.
Well, if she's going to give my daughter a solo with crappy choreography, then don't even bother.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she's thinking maybe she can make the most of it, because she did bring, we'll get to that, but she did bring what she could bring to the choreography and the outfit and the mediocre music. But anyway,
we got
getting to that.
Yeah, we got a group number called Dominoes, because they're the domino effect. Because I don't know.
Because the moms
drama.
the Domino effect. That was her point with that, right?
That they're taking each other down.
One mom is affecting the other moms.
Right.
Yeah. Oops. Hit my microphone. My bad.
So it was a cute little concept.
It was a cute little concept, and how she, I thought she was gonna like kick somebody out, or I wasn't sure where she was going with that. But they use so much like dramatic music now. I'm like, it's like I feel like somebody's gonna get murdered. Like they use that type of music in like a horror movie or something. I'm like, Collins, it's not that deep, buddy. I mean, okay, so we're up in the interviewing room at this point with the moms, and it comes about like basically the great divide again, and Holly is talking about Abby being the master manipulator, and Jill says we should follow our dance teacher. So what do you all think?
I agree. Abby is getting them opportunities for Maddie that the other moms can't stop complaining about, and that's all Abby's doing in her training and her managing. So if you want your daughter, it only makes sense, if you want your daughter to follow in those footsteps and get those same opportunities, then hush your little face and be a nice little girl just like Melissa.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I think strategically that is true. Although you have to draw the line somewhere. And I think for this episode, Holly had her personal boiling over point. Like, okay, I'm going to nod and agree with Abby, nod and agree. And then at some point, I just can't take it anymore, And I mean, each mom seems to have their breaking point, right?
Yeah, but for me, it always comes back to, like, if you have that much of a problem with it, then leave. Then don't be a reality star.
Right.
Don't have your daughter in one of the best dance programs in the country. Like, if that's your priorities, if you really think it's that awful, then just get the heck out of there.
Well, but it's not that easy, because you have your daughter accomplishing so much and getting all these amazing opportunities, and the next step is right in front of you.
Right, so you should just be happy and not say anything, because everything's good.
But
you're
it's
a
not
reality
easy.
TV star.
Right.
And a world-renowned dancer.
That's what we all want. That's what we're putting up with all of this for, right?
You make it sound so easy when people are messing with you.
Well, Holly says the moms would jump off the cliff if Abby says so. So I don't really think that they would go quite that far. But
now, if Abby told them to dance off the cliff,
they might.
They should go for it.
Yeah, they should go for it. Because darn it, that solo might be at the bottom of the cliff.
Right?
That's going to warrant their good choreography.
Speaking of dancing, can we talk about these solos? Because there was some incredible dancing from these girls.
There was. Yes.
Really beautiful dancing. Woo.
Yes.
Lots of turns.
Yeah, we are going to get to that. Right after
First, Abby's going to take a dancer out of the dance.
Yeah, so first
get it right.
Exactly. So
Sorry, did I jump ahead?
No. So and then we got to talk about the mama drama first.
Okay.
Lots of mama drama with the whole back thing. Like, does Jill have Holly's back? And that got so much airtime, and does she really need to have her back? I mean, I guess these moms have like so much history with one another, and they're friends, and Jill says, oh, I would always take this friendship over this dance, but I don't really believe that.
No, absolutely not. And she shouldn't.
Yeah, and she shouldn't, absolutely. You should always, you got to look out for yourself. First and foremost, right?
Agreed.
Especially out in LA and Hollywood, you have to cover your back. But I just don't know. And this is where Holly blew up, and she got a little bit over the top for me, even for me. And I'm always like, I would do that. I just didn't understand her getting so upset with Jill. But I guess it comes to a point where you're just like, But it's like one of the moms yell at the other moms, but then when their kid is getting yelled at, none of the other moms pop and say anything. This happens like again and again.
I think it's because they're taking their frustration out on the wrong person. Holly is frustrated with Abby.
Yes.
And only Abby and what Abby has done. But she can't say all this to Abby, or she already has and it hasn't gone well, and she doesn't want to compromise Nia's solo, so she takes it out on Jill instead.
Yeah.
And gets mad at Jill for not backing her up instead of being just mad at Abby.
It must be so incredibly frustrating for her to sit there and be picked on and not have any of the other moms at least recognize it. Because it's not their fight. It's their time to be quiet and sit back and let things go the way they're going to go for their daughter. But I think, ultimately, Holly was just still really angry about the music video, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And like Jill said, pick your battles. You know, Holly picked that battle for herself. Jill didn't pick Holly's battle.
Right, she did pick it, and she knew what she was getting into. And you know what? Nia had a great opportunity, and she had a spot in the music video. Done. You know, that's it. You do what you want to do. You can't expect everybody to follow you.
Right.
So Holly ends up leaving, and my take was the next day, Holly kind of comes back, and she talks about, you know, I can't expect everyone to have the same standards I have. You know, you're darn right you can't. You can't expect them to do what you do and them to do what you know you would do.
I hate that she said it so condescendingly. Like
she did.
I can't expect people to be as greatly minded as I am. You know, instead of to have arrogant. She didn't say the same opinion as me. It was like they don't have the same high standards as I do.
Exactly.
Well, they're not in your same situation with their daughter, so just own it for yourself. Like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just own it for yourself. But it's hard. It's hard. She definitely got poked and prodded.
She did. Oof. Okay, so we have the issue with the dance and the teen category at the New Jersey competition. So basically, Kalani is going to be dropped from the group dance because that brings the average age down, and then they can compete in the junior category, and they have a better chance of winning, which I agree. And I don't think that was unfair of Abby or anything else. It wasn't because she wasn't doing a good job. She's amazing. It's just a strategic business point, and I wish that people would realize that. And sometimes, you know, life isn't always fair. Sometimes you have to, you know, take one for the team and sit out.
Right, and the other moms say all the time, you know, what about the team and the team and the team? And this was
that is such crap, though. The team and the this and the that, they're really just out for themselves.
Until individual opportunities arise.
Yeah, which I understand, but then you can't be like, well, the only time you ever speak up is, you know, you never speak up for my kid, and well, that gets me nowhere.
Well, and this was more kind of this passive-aggressive stuff from Abby for me. Kind of like in the pyramid scene. She came up and she came into the mom's lair. You know, usually she just shouts from above, like, you guys come down here so I can talk to you. Right. You know, she comes up and she says, oh, Kalani is beautiful in the number, and it is only because of her age, and almost was a little bit too nice about it. And then as she's walking away, Kira says, well, Kira loves this dance, and Abby says, well, it's great because now she can watch it. And I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There's that Abby Lee Miller burn.
It's her favorite dance. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
It's her favorite dance.
She just said, well.
Yeah. That was pretty fair. I agree with you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we'll see later on that some of the moms didn't think so.
I don't agree. They want to pick Kira's battles.
Exactly. So we're at the competition, and this is not to do with the dancing, but did you notice that the girls always arrive with like matching Louis Vuittons?
Yeah, there's a Louis Vuitton thing happening on this show.
They all have like the same Louis Vuitton. Those are like $3,000.
All the moms and all the kids, and I look at these so closely to see they are not knockoffs.
No. Do you like
and it makes me so sad every time. I've like literally been having this like Louis Vuitton thing in my head now, and ever since I've been watching this, I'm like, I don't have a Louis Vuitton bag. Is that bad? Does that make me less of a future star?
No, it doesn't.
They're like a third of my age.
They're sponsored by Louis Vuitton?
No, I think.
Come on about that. Or if the moms all got them for free, but does Louis Vuitton really care about a reality show on Lifetime in America? I highly doubt it.
If so, we here at AFTERBUZZ TV Dance Moms would really like to sport Louis Vuitton.
The Louis Vuitton would look so good on my shoulder.
Yes, it would. I could have a little Palermo right here.
I know. I would take the 160th anniversary of the Karl Lagerfeld's edition. Yeah.
Oh, you know, like the details.
Well, because it was also on Total Divas recently. Had a whole big Louis Vuitton. It was like the whole episode was about the girl getting her Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
So I keep waiting for it to go away, but not dying down. I'm the only one that doesn't have one.
So I guess in answer to your question, yes, we noticed the Louis Vuitton.
Hey, I'm not the only. Did you all notice the Louis Vuittons? We know that you did, so I'm glad. And for the record, I would not let my 12-year-old have a Louis Vuitton. I mean, I'm not
For
going
the record,
Yeah.
says
Good
the
for
woman
you.
whose purse is sitting right over there, and it's a big fat Louis Vuitton monogram.
Well, I'm not 13 years old. I'm not 13.
No, you're
That's
not.
true. Thanks for calling me out.
That's like my mom wouldn't let me wear a black bathing suit till I was 16.
That's fantastic.
Nor get my ears pierced till I was 16.
That's fantastic.
See, there should be, you know, they're milestones.
Black is too sexy.
That was her thinking. Yes.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to.
That's cute.
You don't want to low hen her out. You know what I mean?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. I do know.
Okay. So moms urge Kira to stick up for her kid, and they can't believe that she's not sticking up for Kalani being removed from the number. And we see later from Kalani, like, she doesn't even care. She does care. She wants to do the dance, but she knows, like, the decision has been made, so she doesn't, like, get too upset about it. And we see that, like, later in a little vignette that she's like, I think the moms just need to stop pointing the finger at everybody else.
Well, and I think Kira and Kalani agree that this gives Kalani more time to work on her solo.
Exactly.
Kira doesn't want to push that because she doesn't want to make it sound like Kalani can't handle doing both, because of course she does that a lot and does very well. But this gives her that chance to focus on only her solo. And I think even when I heard that, I thought, that's going to bode well for her.
Yeah, that's
She's got
really
a solo
smart
to think about.
And then Jessalyn takes it even a step farther, and they're kind of accusing Kira of going in Jill's footsteps of just like following Abby. But really, Kira, I feel like, is a little bit, has a strategic thing in the back of her mind. I don't think she's following in Jill's footsteps. I just think that she has like a bigger take on what's going on. It just has to do with the kid's age. Jessalyn says something, do what is right in life. I'm like, Jessalyn, when have you ever done what was right in life? You guys are speechless. I'm like, I don't.
That's a touche,
we're with you.
Candice.
Yeah.
Touche.
I mean, well, you know. All right, so finally we get to talk about the numbers. Yay! Yeah, so we got Kalani up first with her solo.
I knew when she came out on that stage and she was dancing before the music even started, doing her little thing to get into position. I was like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And
It was. I thought her musicality is just so on, and she's got those, of course, gorgeous legs and
She this extension. It was something like this.
woo! Hey! Clap, clap. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think you need to get up there, but
Oh my gosh.
give her a run for your money.
No, I couldn't even. To come out of those turns and drop to the floor, just
That's
their
what stood out to
precision
me.
is amazing. But I do love watching her dance because she has such an elegant sort of way she carries herself too.
Yeah.
I never get bored watching a Kalani solo.
I
Some of
don't.
the other girls sometimes it just seems like, another the same kind of a solo, and she just always blows me away.
She does. She blew me away, but then at the same time, I kind of expected her to push the envelope just a little bit more. I kind of wanted to see this like fierceness come from like within her that she puts, because I see it in her hands and her feet, that extension and like the fire and the energy, and I kind of wanted to see that like come from within too. I feel like she could just push that envelope a little bit more.
A little more intensity.
Yeah.
Kind of like give it a little JoJo.
Possibly, but a more mature, sassiness about it. So, but
I think she's definitely getting there.
no, definitely. We have Kendall, and
I like this number.
Kendall's my girl. I always wanted her to do so well, but I just didn't think that she did dance beautifully, but what she was given was not a winning number.
no, the blues, the slowness, it was too slow.
It was very cliche. Like it sounded
a
like
little
every
cliche
dance
with
we
the New
danced to in the
York.
Midwest
Yeah.
as I was growing up.
With the
Like,
hat.
yeah, a little cheese ball.
But cute too. It was cute. But yeah, I felt like she wasn't given like the breakout choreography. It's like it's the combination, right?
Yes.
It's the costume. It's obviously the choreography and the music and the attitude that wraps it all up.
Yeah, she didn't have the whole package, which wasn't given to her. So
Right.
she's, while I feel like she's a beautiful dancer, I feel like she needs to pull, I feel like you have to paint with all of the colors of your paint box. And I feel like she paints with like 3 colors, but I want to see her paint with like 15. I mean, that's like my little analogy, but she needs to be like a little bit more memorable with her numbers. Now, it's hard to do that with the hot hat and, you know, that was just too cutesy, but I feel like she just gets those types of numbers. I'd like to see her getting a little bit more mature, quicker, you know.
Even in LA at the audition, they said that she wasn't memorable, and that just killed me to hear that because I love her. And then at the beginning of this episode this week, Abby said, I think Kendall can be a huge star. And I agree with that. But yeah, there's something I think that just maybe hasn't quite come together for her yet.
I think so.
She's so young and she's so gorgeous,
Maybe
and she's going to get there.
it's just a matter of maturity. Yeah, and life experience. She's a little artist.
Okay, what did we think of Miss Nia?
She got the shaft. Oh, no. This was just an injustice. I really feel like.
The costume?
I feel like the costume. I'm like, what exactly is, there was just no tie-in with the costume, with the music was a little bit boring. Yeah. And then the choreography, so, right?
Very
And she didn't
She was
get,
the golden rule lion.
Right. She didn't get much, you know, one-on-one, any one-on-one attention with Abby. It looked like she's just on her phone.
On her phone.
Like, it was so rude.
But you know what? I'm starting to be able to see what Abby, and I'm not a professionally trained dancer by any means, but when Abby talks constantly about Nia's feet, and you watch Kalani dance, and you just see her just gorgeous on her pointed toes all the time.
Amazing.
And I'm not sure if it was maybe just the choreography in this number, but I sort of felt like I see what Abby's saying, that there's just something not quite right about her footwork.
Right. Well, the foot thing, I mean, the foot, you know, the shape of the foot and the bones and the arch is God-given.
Right.
You know, there's not a lot you can do with it. I mean, when I was growing up, some girls would get their arches broken so that they could mold them back to be higher. Not that I would recommend that for anything or anyone.
Really?
That is some crazy stuff.
That's like...
Yeah. So while Kalani, some of that feet, she works so hard. I'm not going to take that away, but some of it is a God-given, because you can't take a flat foot and make it look like Kalani's.
But this number didn't do mediocre or not place because of her feet. Come on.
No.
True.
This number, first of all, what was that music? And there was no clear thing for her to sell. I thought she did a decent job, given what she was given.
I thought, given what she was given, she was entertaining. She, you know, because I know her, and she was given it what she could. It was entertaining.
But I'm kind of seeing a dwindling passion from her, I feel like.
No.
I don't know
Not
if
yet.
LA, you don't think so? I don't know if LA sort of beat her down a little bit, and all the things that are happening with her mom and Abby. I don't know that I see the passion for it anymore. When she talks about singing and doing her music career, she's obviously so into that. And I'm wondering if she's maybe changing her dream course a little bit.
Maybe. Well, that leads us to backstage, where Jojo wants to hear her song, and all the girls listen to her song, and they're so positive, and she does light up like a light. I really noticed that.
And it was so good to see the girls. We don't get that many scenes where we just see them interacting with each other, and they were all supporting her, and they were dancing along, and they were clearly genuinely happy for her.
Yeah.
And that's just something that doesn't happen amongst the moms. They're all worried about their own kid getting the opportunity, whereas the little girls themselves can actually look and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, I'm dancing to my friend's song.
Yeah. It was very inspiring, and it was I'm really glad that she got to have that moment.
Did you guys check out the song on iTunes?
No.
No, it's up now. It came out
up
on
today?
Tuesday. Yes, and it's a good little track. It's really inspirational. I don't know that the music, that the production is that great, but Nia sounds great on it. It's just like the music is a little too loud or something in the chorus. You can't hear her greatly, but it is a really good song, and I'm sure everybody out there already has like almost 5 stars.
Oh, amazing.
On iTunes, and hundreds of reviews. So everybody
listen
go
to
there
it
and
right after
download
the
it if
show.
you haven't gotten it yet.
Awesome.
Good for her.
Well, we're kind of pressed for time, so the moms have a little scuffle in the back, and Abby apologizes to Kalani for taking her out of the group, and we just get a little bit more. The mom's upset that Kira didn't stand up for Kalani, which is just getting like a lot of airtime, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, it's just more more of the same drama, but I did like the vignette where Kalani pipes up and she says, I think the moms would be much happier if they stop encouraging their counterparts to fight with Abby. And so we got to see her 2 times talk this episode. So.
I love that.
Yeah, she's an amazing girl. So I
saw on Twitter a lot of people responded to that too.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
What they have to say.
People are glad that she spoke up and such wisdom.
Yeah, such wisdom. So speak up more, Kalani. Okay, back to the groups. We've gotten back to the awards. So the group dance.
Dominoes.
Yeah. Sorry, we haven't performed the group dance yet. So what did we think of that? Domino.
I thought it was great. I liked it. Something fun and a little bit different.
Yeah.
They did it beautifully. I hate to not see Kalani in it, but they really rocked it. Jojo kept up. I've been watching her, keeping an eye on her since they had to cut her from the group dance one of those very first weeks she was around, and she held her ground on this one. I thought she looked great.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was very, very interesting, and I felt like the girls were connected, but I felt like the spacing was off like at least 3 times. Three times.
I kind of noticed that. Did you notice that right at the beginning?
Yeah.
When Mackenzie came out, she was
what
a
I
little bit behind.
thought too? I thought, well, we're seeing it from one camera angle too. I kind of thought, I wonder if the camera is affecting the spacing, because I didn't hear Abby say anything about it. So
yeah, well, if the camera could have been, but I did notice it about 3 times. Okay.
Really interesting though to see them a lot of times break off and move separately, like have different choreography. I always think that is so much more complex,
Right.
when they're not all in unison.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the awards, moving on, Kendall came home with 5th place. And Jill says it's okay because she was very confident. So that's a good mommy thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to always be positive.
She should be proud of herself.
She should, yeah. For first overall teen solo, Miss Kalani, first overall.
Yay, and no surprise there.
Yeah,
that was hot.
Yeah. So Abby finally got her win from Kalani. Woohoo!
Yay.
That's right.
I'm wondering if she'll think now that she has to keep Kalani out of the group dance every time, but I guess we'll see.
Right.
Oh.
So the Domino Effect got first place. Woohoo! No surprise. Very good job. And Nia didn't place in her solo. So that was a bummer. And then we see Holly giving Nia a really great pep talk. And I've actually heard this from my own mother. She's like, no matter how much you get beat down, you just have to keep going. If it's in your heart and you want to do it, just keep going. So many people, so many stars got so many no's before they finally got their one yes. And so I thought that was a really amazing takeaway that she's giving to her daughter.
I totally agree. I totally tapped into that. Like, I love that they're taking a moment to give some real, honest, good, healthy advice.
Yeah, that scene was kind of part of what I was saying before about I'm not sure that Nia feels so impassioned anymore. She did just really seem kind of over it in that moment to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was over it, but I feel like that's when the mom comes in and is saying, don't be over it. It's okay to be disappointed, but it's just what you take with those disappointments. It's not and it's hard because I feel like she's at a disadvantage, kind of like Chloe was with the choreography and I know her mom sees that too, but at the same time Nia wants to be there to compete. So
Nia got to go up and with the rest of the team and accept the award when Dominoes was announced first, as did Kalani, and I thought this whole thing was so interesting because I guarantee you Abby's thinking is Kalani just won first place in the solos. She wants everyone to know that Kalani is part of this team, part of Abby Lee Miller's team, and whether she's dressed in the outfit or not, she goes up with her team to accept the award because that looks good to everybody. She did.
Should I go up? Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I couldn't believe that the other mothers had such a problem with it. It was, to me, a completely different situation than Abby not letting Nia go up when Nia hadn't danced at all. It was completely different.
It's Nia was totally different, and I was just blown away that the moms didn't get that it's completely different scenario at that time.
Especially if Abby says it's okay. Why should Kira tell Kalani not to?
Yeah,
you listen to your dance teacher.
With Jojo and Nia, Jojo wasn't on the team, and Nia was being punished for having another opportunity instead of being at rehearsal. So I just was like,
yeah, you go up there and get that award, Kalani.
Yeah. So,
get them all.
Yeah. Get them all.
How do you feel about it?
Anything else you all want to say about the episode?
I loved this little point at the end when Jill gets into it, and the line, "I'm not talking stuff about your daughter. I'm talking stuff about you." That was has to be one of my favorite Dance Moms quotes of all time.
That was a good one. Get it
and she
in
didn't
there.
say stuff either, people.
Yeah.
I know
What do
all
you
heard
think
it.
was under the boop?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
I thought it was the S word. Don't you?
I think
SH
so.
word?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we definitely have to start to wrap up. Do we have any news and gossip?
I have one little thing. Last week we talked about Chloe being in Jess Godwin's video for Fool Me Once. And we now know Jess gave a little interview, and she said the reason why she cast Chloe in her video was because she saw what happened with Abby giving them all the same dance. Remember, Maddie, Kendall, and Chloe were all taught this choreography, and Maddie and Kendall only were allowed to perform it at competition. So this singer knew that and loved that her song is a part of the show, but wanted to give Chloe the chance to perform to this song.
I love that. I love that. That is amazing.
Yeah, she said that she and Chloe really had a real connection, and also that Chloe took only one day to learn that choreography, which is beautiful.
Wow.
And my favorite thing that she said is that Chloe was thanking everyone all day long. She was so happy to be there and have that opportunity, and the singer just made Chloe sound like she's just a nice, polite, sweet, grateful little girl, and I love that. That's what I like to see.
Cool. Yes. Yay, Chloe. Team Chloe. All right, what about predictions for next week? Well, Bryn is back, so we get to see a little bit more Bryn, which is cool.
I'm so sorry to go back, and I know we're running out of time, but I have to shout out really quick one of my favorite tweeters, Philip Tucker at PhillyT86, and everyone else who tweets me about Dance Moms. And also, someone sent me Kira's whole family trial stuff, everything, a lot court documents. Whoever you are a crazy great investigator. I love you. Please send me more juicy stuff. I'm sorry I couldn't access it anymore in my Twitter today, but please send it to me again. I want to show you out. You're fantastic. So my prediction is that the fans will continue to give us more juicy Dance Moms tweets.
Ooh, we want it. Keep it coming. Where can they find you, Christy?
Tweet me at Christy Reports. Give me that good inside dish.
I can't wait to join you guys next week also. So great to meet everybody tonight. Find me at JJ Snyder.
All right.
And find me and ask questions at Candice_Camacho. And this has been a great reclap. Woo! We'll see you all next week. Please subscribe.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.